One thing I will say about those phrases, though, that was always like bothered me is that the key phrases for like size were always like, "That's the biggest oddish I've ever seen," right? And it's like, oh, we're an hour into Oddish Community Day. You haven't seen any other Oddishes during this time? That doesn't make sense. Are you not participating in Community Day, Blanche? Like,
yeah.
You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
You're sure to get a kick out of May's Community Day Pokemon.
Don't forget about a Feathery Research Day this weekend. Will you answer the bird call? And more on this episode of GOCast. Hello and welcome to the GOCast podcast, episode 281. It is May the 8th, yet another Tuesday afternoon / early evening. I'm your host, Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Kyle.
Hiya.
How you doing, Kyle?
I'm okay, but
yeah,
it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. It's May the 8th, not another Tuesday. It's Wednesday. I was wondering what you were grinning about. I'm like, what did I mess up? And yep, soda. Yep, sure, yep. Of course. Yeah. Anyway, everybody, welcome on in. It doesn't matter if I don't know what day of the week it is, because I don't need to know that in order to play Pokemon Go and then therefore talk about it. But thankfully, I've got Kyle here as a kite string to keep me tethered to this plane of existence. Okie dokie. Before we get started here, thank you again. We haven't done this for a couple of episodes, but big shout out to our patron supporters. Thank you so much for supporting the show and helping keep this thing going. We'll talk more about that at the end of the show. So we set some goals, and I hesitate to say last week, so I'm going to say last episode, because we recorded on the 4th, which was just 4 days ago. But set goals all the same, because that's what we do here. So Mr. Kyle, let's review what you had set for yourself. You wanted to get 300,000 experience. How did that go for you, if at all?
I did do that.
Nice.
From friendships, thankfully.
Oh, okay. Was that just 2 friendships?
It was a best friend and then some miscellaneous.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. What about Kanto Research Step 3? Did you get through page 3?
I did.
Okay. How far are you? There's only 5 pages. And I don't think
only
the
5.
last 2.
I finished page 3 and then I closed it at the time.
You're like,
I was like, I'll look at page 4 later.
Right. What about the Rivals Week research? Did you finish that one?
I haven't done that one. I don't know if I'm going to get that one done.
Oh, no.
I haven't done any raids.
It doesn't take too much. It's only 3 raids, I think, right?
Yeah, I know. I just didn't really get out basically at all since we last recorded.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was going to include raids because I hadn't looked. So I'm like, oh, well, this was a mistake. Yeah,
I did all 3 as remotes today with no shame because I needed to get them done. I was feeling the weight of the research.
I can't remember the last remote raid that I did.
So 2 out of 3. It probably would have been during what's the last tour we had? Sinnoh. No. Yes.
No,
I
mean, I definitely did it during Sinnoh, but that was 3 months ago. Did I do it?
It was
since then.
Probably not. I don't think so.
Not. I probably have not done a remote raid since all of the Dialga and Palkia that I did.
I think you said I'm not going to buy any more remote raid passes until GoFest or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like me. I'm saving the money. I will probably go very hard at GoFest.
And that's fine. So. You're keeping yourself from doing so now, and then you can cash in later.
Yeah, because think about the Necrozma and all of the Ultra Necrozma we're going to need.
Try not to think of the Necrozma, to be super honest with you. That polygonal mess of a so-called Pokemon. Ultra Necrozma is cool. It's fine. Anyway, 2 out of 3, Mr. Kyle. Nice work, despite it only being a few days. For myself, 18.5 million Stardust on hand. I'm happy to tell you I got that just barely. Because I also didn't play too much, to be super honest with y'all. But I did get that one done because I had my lead from before, which is nice. Hatched 50 eggs. I only hatched 39. I didn't get out for another longer walk. And actually for a period of time, I forgot to, in a stroke of rare occasion, forgot to throw several eggs into an incubator in the background one day. So I missed an entire day of miscellaneous walking, right? So that didn't work out. Finish Glitz and Glam. I did do that actually. So okay. I'm happy to say that I got my DNC candy, and that's rad, I guess.
You sounded very thrilled for that candy.
I love that very much. So 2 out of 3 for me as well. Nice tie. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've tied. Usually one of us forgets to play entirely.
Or you set an unreasonable goal.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, but that's
although your last few unreasonable goals have turned out well for you. So
they have worked out. That's right. Yeah, 42 Bellsprout. That was ridiculous. Yeah. God. Anywho, well, we've got a little bit of news to cover, so we should probably hop into that. Let's get going. Yo, what up? It's the news. We've got one piece of news here to cover, and it is the May 2024 Community Day Pokemon announcement, right? So trainers were excited to announce that Bounsweet, the fruit Pokemon, will be featured during May Community Day. This is going to be on Sunday, May 19th from 2 to 5 p.m. local time. That should already be marked on your calendars, folks. I hope it is. And if not, surprise, Community Day in a couple of weeks. Featured attack, Evolve Steenie, Bounsweet's evolution, during the event or up to 5 hours afterward to get a Serena that knows the charged attack high jump kick. In trainer battles, that does 110 power and a chance to greatly decrease the user's defense. And in gyms and raids, it does 90 power. 90 power without a chance, of course, to reduce the user's defense. This is kind of like close combat, sorta, if you really want to think about it. But it's different. We promise. Community Day special research story. It's the same deal. $1 research story. And you'll get the Bounsweet Community Day exclusive special research. You can gift it, all that good stuff. Event bonuses, 2 times candy for catching Pokemon and quarter egg hatch distance when eggs are placed into incubators during the event. 2 times chance for trainers level 31 and up to receive Candy XL from catching Pokemon. Lure modules and incense, excluding daily adventure incense, activated during the event will all last for 3 hours. There's going to be snapshots. Make sure you take your 5 so you can work on that metal a little bit. I always forget. Don't be me.
Every time.
Yep.
One additional special. Platinum.
One day it'll be like in 6 years and we're like, oh, remember Pokemon Go? How close are we? Oh, we're 5 away. We could do this. Take a few snapshots. Like I just said, 1 additional special tray can be made for a maximum of 2, and trades will require 50% less Stardust. These are, of course, within the event times up to, I think, the 10 p.m. mark. Speaking of up to 10 p.m. mark, from 5 to 10, there's going to be bonus raid battles after Community Day. The Pokemon in these 4-star raids will be Steenie. Field research tasks, if you do them, you'll get Bounsweet encounters, Stardust, Great Balls, all that good stuff, the usual. There will be showcases. There will be a web store bundle and event bundles in the in-game shop. And least of all, stickers.
Yeah.
Well, it's not fair. I meant to say last but not least, but least of all kind of slipped out. And for some people, I'm sure that's true. And I like the stickers when they're cute, but I don't really care for Bounsweet in a way that I feel like I'll be like, oh, look at the cute Bounsweet stickers, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The stickers are always cute. They're just they exist.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they do some of their best artwork in the stickers. I wonder where they get it from. Do you think it's in-house? Do you think they get it from the Pokemon Company?
I don't know. The first batch of stickers that they released were a set of stickers that were available on the texting app Line. Yes. So those all existed somewhere. So that leads me to believe that they're sourcing these from somewhere.
Yeah, I think so too. I'd be curious to find out what the actual answer is to that question. I'm sure it's not what we expect. So anyway, I think all in all, here are the takeaways, right? It's going to be a quarter egg hatch distance event and 2 times candy for catching. Like that's the bonus, right? And I think the other important part is to talk about Bounsweet as a choice for Community Day. It's an interesting Pokemon choice for sure. I mean, it's a 3-stager, which, we kind of need. But here's the thing. It's a mono grass type Pokemon, and its featured attack it's going to get is a high jump kick, which is a fighting move.
Yeah.
And that just seems odd to me. And I know it fits in with the Pokemon's lore and all that stuff. Just seems strange, kind of. So I have no idea how this is going to shake up the usefulness of this Pokemon or its PvP relevance, because up until this point, according to Game Press, it's got like a 1 in each category out of 5. So really not that usable. But Kyle, I'm kind of dying to know what your thoughts are on this, kind of in its entirety. I mean, obviously the bonuses are what it is, and it's a Community Day. But how do you feel about Bounsweet?
It's okay. I mean, I like Bounsweet, the Pokemon. I think Steenie and Serena are strange. It's just, I don't know. It's the long-legged boot Pokemon. I don't know. It's so un-Pokemon. Like, it evolves from learning Stomp. I don't know. Steenie's always been strange to me. Bounsweet is very cute. Apparently, this was an obvious choice for Community Day for some people, and I had no idea. I saw people talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. Doesn't do a lot for me overall. I am unfortunately working this Sunday, and as I have taken the next Sunday and the previous Sunday off, I was not able to take this day off. So,
oh wait, you mean in 2 Sundays? Because this upcoming Sunday is not.
I have this upcoming Sunday off though because it's Mother's Day. So, I took last Sunday off because it was my niece's baptism. So I couldn't take 3 Sundays.
Oh my gosh! Why don't you just quit? Just quit entirely, and then you'll never miss an event again. Problem solved.
I saw my first Chansey in forever today.
Wow. Okay.
To get a step towards my Chansey research from that.
Oh my god!
Day.
In my head, I'm like, why are you bringing this up? Who cares about a Chansey? But this is super relevant. That's hilarious. I keep forgetting you have these old researches. What's the other one too?
No, that's the only one of significant value.
Okay.
Sir Lachlan gifted it to me, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to play.
That's right. Lachlan's out in the UK right now, by the way. He was just in a video with Ian, and I think he's hanging out with Milo right now.
I saw him tag a shiny Pokemon he caught on Campfire.
Yeah, Tapu Fini. I was in that raid. I was not as lucky.
Oh my gosh.
I was not as lucky. That was my first of the remotes I decided I was going to do. So thanks for that invite, Lachlan. And hello, Incensed Boys.
Yeah, I'm not super excited, especially it's a quarter egg hatch.
Yeah.
It doesn't do a whole lot for me, and that's okay. It's apparently a beloved Pokemon, and I didn't realize it.
I would never have guessed, to be honest with you. It's fine. I mean, it fits the bill. It really does. And it's a cool Pokemon when you think about it. And we'll talk more about it in Pokélore this week. Spoilers, I know. But it would have never come to my mind. If you're like, what are potential candidates? I would have been like, well, I'm never going to stop shouting about Scyther Community Day, but I know that's a long shot. But I would probably have never in a lineup picked up Bounsweet out of any of them, I think.
I think with enough choices, I would have, just because it's a 3-stage Pokemon.
Sure.
It's like, okay, you got a chance. And
is the shiny even good?
It's solid. The like green leaves become purple. I don't know what else.
Yeah. So the white part at the bottom turns green. The green petals on the top turn purple, and its body gets a little bit of like that shiny muted look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it does look rather different.
And they need to start putting the shiny in the Community Day announcement.
They sure do, don't they?
I'm sure there is something from the Pokemon Company that says you're not allowed to do that. It has to be.
I would imagine so. I don't think I've ever seen them ever post an image of a shiny Pokemon anywhere.
Yeah, even when they like talk about it being the feature or like there being chances for raids and stuff like that. They don't do it.
Oh, like in PSV and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they don't. I will say this, though. Now that I've pulled up the whole family and side by side, I appreciate it when we see this, but the shiny colors stay consistent throughout the evolutions.
God.
I love that. Another thing to call out here, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but they all share the same category. They're all the fruit Pokemon, and that makes my brain smile from ear to ear, man. I love it when it's consistent like that. So good. So good. But yeah, that's kind of it for the news, to be super honest with you. I mean, there's lots of interesting conversations going on right now. The Ghost Snapshot update just came out and went live. I haven't had a chance to really go hands-on with it. Kyle, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so some of the top level changes that I was able to take a look at is, well, first of all, you're able to put out 3 Pokemon out in a play space on your own 3 Pokemon. You don't have to enter into a group session anymore, which is like a big deal. But in the menu as well, they have this really cute thing where they have suggestions of groups of Pokemon that you might want to throw out together. You can get to this menu by going into hitting your Pokeball at the bottom, and you'll see 2 new icons if you have the app updated. On the left of the close is a little camera button. If you tap that, it takes you to this new interface, like this new landing page for a feature. Do you see this or not, Kyle, on yours?
Oh my gosh. I was not following along. I am sorry.
Oh, okay. You gave me a look for a second. Yeah. Open up your menu. It should be right to the left of the close button after you open the menu.
Hang on. Go has restarted itself since I last opened it.
I'm going to carry on. You got those 2 steps locked away. So they have they have some example snapshots at the top. Like mine is like rotating through. This one shows a Charizard in the sky with a back shot of a Venusaur and a Pikachu and an Eevee. And this next one that just rotated through. It's pretty cool. And then they have featured groups, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, Kanto, and like a little camera button. So you can start that. It'll start a session. The next one I have is Picture Perfect. It's Pichu and Togepi and Happiny. Next one is Blooming Buds, and it put in 3 shiny Pokemon. A shiny Blossom, a shiny Sunkern, and a shiny Roselia. It's pretty cool. And they have popular groups, and they show you what other people, I guess, are using. I hope that's the case. And or you can manually select your own Pokemon. It's kind of neat.
The feature, the things apparently fix themselves, because you said your Blooming Buds was shiny Blossom, shiny. What else did you say? I'm sorry.
Sunkern and shiny Roselia.
Yeah, mine is shiny Roselia, shiny Sunkern, and then a regular Oddish. I don't know why. I have a shiny Oddish, so
who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, it's kind of neat. I'm going to leave it up to the Ghost Snapshot experts out there to tell me if it's good or not in practice. But I'll definitely play with it a little bit. I'd like to try it out. The AR stuff is neat, and I've seen a couple of people cover it. I watched Zoe's video of using it, and there's a lot more agency with placement and what the actions are doing and stuff like that. So fingers crossed that this is good. I hope everybody's happy with it. I don't see how it's bad, at least not yet. I'm open. Change my mind on this a little bit, I guess. But I don't know. Seems good on a surface level.
I don't know enough to say otherwise. I'm going to assume it's positive and let someone tell me if it's negative or not.
Okay, we're on the same page.
Although assuming positivity is always dangerous right now.
Yeah, is that uncomfortable for you?
I mean, in terms of Go, it seems to be the unwise decision.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, I can't even argue with you on that right now. You know what I will tell you? The silver lining, egg hatch distance for this upcoming community day. Let's go.
Hopefully there's something in eggs worth hatching.
Even if there's not, I'll tell you what, I'm a sucker. I'm going to do it. Remember all the Cleffa I hatched? 57?
Yes, I do, unfortunately.
I still have your Cleffa, by the way. We got to trade. All right. I think that's it for the news. Yeah, that's it for the news. Oh, I still don't have a Wiglet, by the way. Kyle, did you get a Wiglet?
No.
Have you tried looking again since last time?
No.
Okay. All right. Me neither.
Maybe you should just go try and submit some fake beaches on OSM.
No, I won't. I won't. Not like it'll help me anyway. Kyle's alluding to an article. Do you want to talk about it really quick? Let's talk about it.
I mean, there's an article you've seen people talk about people editing OSM to include beaches where there aren't any beaches. But the person writing the article clearly doesn't know how Go works with OSM, because for those of you who don't know how OSM and Go works, it updates very infrequently from OSM. Niantic takes data like at the point we're at once every 3 years to update their maps.
Yeah.
So anything you update right now, despite what it may feel like, does not get reflected the next day in Pokemon Go. It does not. So
yeah.
I
mean, there might be background stuff happening that we're not aware of, but honestly, historically, it takes like a year, 2 years or more between these refreshes. And I would imagine we would have seen one with the overhaul of the world if they were going to do one soon, but we didn't. I don't think. At least.
Not that I know of, at least.
No, not that I heard of. So anyway, don't be catastrophizing Go and the state of the map and the legitimacy of the biomes quite yet. At least not until the next update. And then we can revisit this conversation. All right. But I think that it is it for the news and other current topics and all that good stuff. So we're actually going to not have a gear up section this week, which means that we're going to take a quick little break. And when we come back, Mr. Kyle is going to give us a healthy helping of Pokélore.
And welcome back. Now we're going to do Pokélore. And this week we're doing Bounsweet, Steenie, and Serena, the fruit Pokemon. All the same group.
We love it.
So nice. Although I feel like this is the one where it may have made sense for Serena to be different, or I don't know. It's so different from Bounsweet.
Yeah, it doesn't really
the stomp Pokemon or the kick Pokemon. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't like resemble a fruit anymore. Yeah, like the strong stem Pokemon or something would have been cool.
Yeah. First up is Bounsweet. Bounsweet is a small Pokemon resembling a mangosteen. Most of its body is pinkish purple with a short white bottom around its waist, which resembles the flesh of a mangosteen when it is cut open. It has beady yellow eyes and 2 tiny legs. On top of its head is a green calyx?
Yeah, calyx. Yep.
This structure consists of 4 leafy green formations and a short stem, also known as leaves. They're leaves.
4 leafy green formations on a short stem.
This Pokemon exudes a delicious smell from its entire body, which has made it popular with people of the Alola region. The scent has a calming effect on people, so they are often used as living air fresheners.
Ooh, nice.
However, its scent has also caused it to be swallowed whole or collected by other Pokemon, especially Toucanon and Greedent.
Oh! So... Really quick, I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you. So in the teaser that they put out on social media for Bounsweet Community Day, there's a shadow of a toucanon that goes by for. Okay, so it's a lore based reason.
Yeah, that was why the toucanon was there.
Okay, that makes sense. I saw people being like, "Is it Toucanon Community Day? Is it Picky Pet Community Day? What are we doing here?"
Yeah, wouldn't put it past them. That's another one I'd be like, "Yeah, okay."
I'd love Picky Pet Community Day. That'd be so sweet.
Anyways. It is too sweet for human consumption, but its sweat can be used to make a juice. Oh. What?
I mean, I think that's true of all sweat, but I don't think you'd want to do that.
Bounsweet was highly valued by humans in the past in a time when sweets were rare. While fleeing danger, Bounsweet skips along in a way that does not convey its desperation. As a result, no one ever comes to help it. It has been known to drive away enemies by rotating its calyx, but it becomes dizzy afterward.
Aww.
Next up is Steenie. While it has a delectable fragrance, this Pokemon also has a tomboyish personality that can make it hard to get along with. Steenie's scent is a popular antiperspirant used by humans and helps others feel invigorated. Steenie's peeled rind can be used for stomach pains. Its calyx has hardened, allowing it to play with other Pokemon without worrying about being damaged. However, the leaves spin as Serena moves and often strikes nearby objects. It apparently does not care what it hits and even uses the calyx as a form of attack. Foes are struck with the leaves first, then kicked by one of Steenie's equally hard legs.
Nice.
It also uses those legs to protect itself from its natural predator, Corvisquire. Steenie are known to bounce around the forest it lives in.
Bounce. Skipping around on those new legs.
Interesting change in Pokedex, but okay.
A little bit. Also, can we take a moment to appreciate the peeled rind can be used for stomach pains? What are we doing to this Pokemon?
I'm more concerned about the fact that we're using its scent as antiperspirant.
Yeah.
Like what the last one was used to make sweets.
The sweat.
Yeah.
Sweat was, yeah.
But like the sweat was used to make sweets and now we're using its scent. How do you get its scent if not from its sweat? I don't.
You know,
you could like, well, you're going to zest it? You're going to zest its calyxes?
That's right. Here, come here. Just like give it like a little noogie, and then you get a bunch of like a nice little garnish or something. Who knows?
God. Next up is Serena. Serena is known to be both powerful and aggressive. This Pokemon has a high-class nature and punishes anyone who approaches it with evil in mind. This attitude will even be directed at its trainer if given commands Serena dislikes, such as being told to use an ineffective move.
Oh, that's right, Queen. You get it.
Touching the crown-like growth on its head is said to render it defenseless, however, and instantly calms it down.
Oh.
Serena fights using finely honed kicks and graceful movements. Every time it lands a hit, it cackles at its opponent. It will even continue kicking or stepping on its downed opponent, laughing boisterously. Additionally, its sweet fragrance acts as a distraction. Because only the most powerful Steenie evolve into Serena, the Pokemon uses its power to protect its pre-evolved forms. Quaquaval is Serena's rival in kicking. What? Sure. Yeah. Fine.
Yeah. Hey, it's just flavor. It's just world building, man.
What about
What about Blaziken?
What about Blaziken? Hitmonlee. Hitmontop also can only kick. It can't really punch. Like,
hey, Pikachu can learn double kick.
Serena is the only Pokemon capable of learning the move Trop Kick. I don't know.
I like that. That's fun.
It is also the only known Pokemon that can have Queenly Majesty as an ability.
That's kind of nuts. For an ability, that sounds like it should be like on a legendary Pokemon or something else.
I mean, it's a very good ability. So
what does it do?
It stops your opponents from using priority moves.
Oh.
Like it just stops it.
Yeah. That targets the Pokemon with Queenly Majesty or its ally. So it also applies in like a double battle in the VGC. That's cool.
That seems pretty good. Pretty good.
Sure does.
All right. Max CP at level 40 is 2964. Level 50 is 3351.
It's pretty high.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. And you'll see why in a second. 176 stamina, 195 defense, and 222 attack.
Nice.
Pretty solid attack. Best moveset, we're thinking at the moment, who knows, is Razor Leaf with Grass Knot and High Jump Kick. It also knows Triple Axle. Triple Axle is pretty good in terms of PvP. This thing is not got a lot of use in raids and PvE. I don't really think it has much in PvP either. Maybe High Jump Kick changes something we don't know about, but I don't think it does.
Yeah. The thing to keep in mind here is that this Pokemon and its entire family is mono grass type. Yeah. And when we looked at the move sets, it had suggested Razor Leaf, Grass Knot, Triple Axle. But in the analysis, it also said that Triple Axle, because it was a nice move and wasn't getting stabbed, was just the best of the options that remained. So it seemed logical that since we're keeping Grass Knot and it seemed pretty good for its stab, that the new option to replace Triple Axle will be with High Jump Kick. Possibility that that's wrong. But it's kind of the best info we have right now, at least for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And the problem, of course, is grass is pretty competitive. There's some very strong grass types in like Great League. So,
yep, yeah. If this thing knew Leaf Blade, I think it would be on the map.
Maybe, but like I don't know. Like the only grass type in the top 30 is Superior.
Really?
Yeah.
Does this not include
Megas?
I guess
that's the main type, I guess. Let me quickly sweep first because obviously it only can show one color.
Yeah, because I think Superior is not superior to
Superior is ranked 26 in Great League right now.
Wow, what happened?
Next up, it has Aerial Ace. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's got some coverage, but still, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
And then next is Go-Goat.
What?
At 36. And Shadow Obama Snow, 41.
Oh, I knew that one.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Hey. Got some
Venusaur
learning
is
to
down
do.
at number 70.
Oh, poor old boy. Oh no.
So yeah. Maybe a Shadow Serena with like Razor Leaf with its high attack. I don't know.
It's possible. That would be pretty sick. And it's not like paper thin. I'd imagine this thing has got some TDO on it because 176 stamina is not great, but paired with a 195 defense, it's decent. So it has some staying power. Therefore, it has some staying power to sacrifice for Shadow. So that'd be pretty sick. Yep. Are you a fan? I mean, I know you just said that you liked Bounsweet a little bit, but how do you feel about the entire family in general?
I don't particularly care for the whole family. Like if I have to rate the whole family, it's like on the lower half of the rating scale.
Sure.
So like
sure.
It's below 5, but it's not like bad. This is actually using the whole rating scale, not using the video game rating scale.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of have to agree with you. But I'm a little bit even more detached from it, where it's like it's fine. I just don't consider this Pokemon very often or at all when I think about Pokemon. I will have to face facts for a whole community day, so maybe it'll make me feel differently about it. But I just haven't spent a lot of time with the Bounsweet or its family, I guess. So hey. But anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Kyle, for letting us know about the fruit Pokemon and its evolutionary forms. Why don't you continue with PokéPoll this week?
So for last week's PokéPoll question, we had, how much do IVs matter to you, and how do they affect your approach to managing, leveling, and utilizing your Pokemon? First response from Triptando. They said, to me, they matter a lot. I need to say this. I'm a big PvP nerd. Definitely up to a certain level. IVs don't matter until they do. But especially for these big tournaments like regionals and international championships, oh boy, do they matter. And it's not always about the highest rank. There's very important break points and bulk points on specific Pokemon that might flip specific matchups. Because of that, some species I have built for PvP multiple times with different IVs.
Hoo-hoo.
To me, IVs matter everything in leveling and utilizing Pokemon. Well, that's a fair stance, especially for PvP with those breakpoints and bulk points, which are too much. I understand how it works, but it still hurts my head to think about.
It's complicated. Kyle did a deep dive on breakpoints a long time ago. Geez, I mean, do you think it's changed? Do you think we can just refer people to that?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't changed. It just I feel like there's a lot more breakpoints that people talk about. There used to be a few like key noteworthy ones.
Yeah.
But I imagine as the meta has deepened and more people have invested, they care more about certain breakpoints too. We're like, whatever, who cares at this point?
Yeah, that's definitely true. But also, like, it makes sense for Triptando being a big battler to come back with this answer for sure. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Next response from Del Hazard X, and they said, my view on IVs changed over time. At lower trainer levels, I wanted 100% IV Pokemon, or close enough to it, so that I wasn't wasting resources powering things up. However, I quickly learned that in order to be able to raid effectively, I needed to adjust. So I focused on getting high CP meta Pokemon to level 30/35. By meta, I mean decent enough for rating, like evolutions. Eventually, by playing and catching everything, I was able to readjust again to only invest in 91% and above. Yeah. Although I still find it difficult to not wait for 100% before investing all the way to level 50. So at the most, I'll take a useful 91% or better up to level 40. Level 50 is reserved for 100% Pokemon, meta Pokemon with good IVs, like a 98% legendary or pseudo Pokemon. So yeah, at the moment, IVs matter quite a bit. I used to keep literally anything that was 96 or 98%, but now I need the space, so the professor takes care of them for me.
Plugs in the grinder.
Oh my goodness.
Time for another session.
I think this is a very common stance for a lot of people. And I'm honestly kind of surprised it's as common as it is, and that a lot of people just like, I like this Pokemon. It has 3 stars.
Yeah, that's the thing. I hear people say 3 stars all the time. I'm like, but it could be like an 85%. Like, do you really?
Yeah. I mean, we do cultivate a certain following, so like it makes sense.
Yeah,
that we're not going to be like anything that's a 3 star is good enough. So.
Yeah, there is a bit, I guess, of echo chamber confirmation bias going on here, right? But I don't know. I mean, like even overhearing people talk at live events, about it. They might say the Pokemon's name wrong, but everybody says, like a 3 star is good for me, and they get excited about 3 stars, right?
Yep.
Especially if it's a shiny. If you get a 3-star shiny, doesn't matter if it's an 86%. That's still a blessing.
I mean, hey, it's a 10-10-10 shiny. Well, I guess it would be like 11-11-11 for something like that.
I think so.
That'd be it's still a good shiny.
It sure is. Sure is.
All right. Next response from Artemis Dragon. They said, "Hey fellas, as someone who's been at this since the beginning, I have become quite the stickler when it comes to IVs, and I've gotten even more insane with it since Niantic introduced the current appraisal system. Both it, alongside tags and search filters, are incredibly powerful tools for us IV hunters. Storage management never felt so good. Side note, remember the old format? This Pokemon is a wonder, can battle with the best of them, or simply amazing. Those were awesome." I don't know. I'm going to have to agree to disagree. I'm sorry.
What? I liked the flavor. It was fun.
Had good flavor, and I would take that flavor if it also showed me the chart at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But if I didn't PvP, I don't think I'd care in the slightest, because outside of PvP and short manning raids, IVs do nothing for the majority. They're just a flex. A really good one at that. Seeing that 4-star animation is just too much. Super fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about those phrases, though, that was always like bothered me is that the key phrases for like size were always like, "That's the biggest oddish I've ever seen," right? And it's like, oh, we're an hour into Oddish Community Day. You haven't seen any other Oddishes during this time? That doesn't make sense. Are you not participating in Community Day, Blanche? Like,
yeah,
it's a little immersion breaking, I guess, but yeah.
All right. And last response from Pepper is found. They said, "My friend and I are both free to play, although I think talking about how he collects IVs is more interesting than me. Collecting the closest to perfect PvP and 100% IVs. When my friend started, he collected Pokemon with the most IVs and would delete the rest. As he picked up PvP, he continued this. He PvPs every day, and the thing that is keeping him from getting a decent rank is not his less than optimal PvP IVs. It's his basic internet plan, older phone model that struggles with all the new assets that have recently been added. Unfortunately, now he just lags out and has been on hiatus until the game or his phone gets updated to be more accessible. If you want to get into PvP, but don't want to because of the storage space situation, or maybe you don't want to level up several Pokemon level 50 when you don't have a lot of Stardust/XL candy, I can reassure you that if you want to keep up the Pokemon with the most IV, the type of Pokemon matters more than the IVs.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah.
100%. There's people out here like, I don't want to PvP because I have really bad IVs. No. Just use the Pokemon.
Yeah.
You can get to rank 20 with whichever Pokemon you have in your box as long as you try.
Yep.
Going higher, you're going to have to put in a little extra effort there. But rank 20, you absolutely can do it.
Yeah, IVs, a difference in IV sets really only matter and are present in mirror matches. And in that case, I mean, it's the difference between like 3 and 4 auto attacks, or fast moves, I should say. Gosh,
it can matter. It can matter a lot more. Like if you're fighting another meta Pokemon, and if you had, 15 defense instead of 9 defense, their fast move might do 1 less damage, which sounds like not much, but when their fast move was only doing 4 damage originally, going from 4 to 3 is a 25% reduction. So like that matters. But that will not matter until you get to a high enough rank where you're actually paying attention to the finer details of PvP, which you don't need to do until then.
I think like shield baiting and sack swapping and stuff like that are much more important than worrying about specific IVs for mirror matches where it could make a difference or not. Like that's the only point I'm trying to make. But you're 100% correct. I always forget. We literally just talked about breakpoints. But yeah, that's an example of a breakpoint, by the way, for those that are still like, what are you guys talking about? It can make a difference. There's thresholds. Maybe we'll have to revisit that topic sometime. We'll have to dedicate a whole like half hour to that and then figure it out.
Yeah. All right. So for this week's PokéPoll, we have, outside of PvP, do you pay attention to the meta or just go with the flow for raids, showcases, etc.?
I think this kind of dovetails out of our last conversation rather well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So for me, I talk about the meta a lot, especially for raids and stuff like that. But I'm not over here making 6 of the same Pokemon for the best. I don't have 6 Kartana leveled up. That's for sure. I've got a couple Kartana. Yeah. And then I have a couple of the next best one. I tend to look at like the best 5 Pokemon and go with those, whatever mix match that I have as I build more, because that's just, I like to use more Pokemon than one of the 6 of the same, unless it's Gengar. But even then I can't really do that because he's too squishy. So I have to have the Giratina there for an anchor.
Yeah. There aren't enough revives in the world for that strategy. Oh, geez. Yeah. I think I kind of identify a little bit with that too. I should say up front, like this question isn't really for us. I'm kind of more curious about the greater player base. Hopefully listeners will have different types of answers. But for me, I also don't sweat it that much. But it's very easy for me to say that because I'm level 50, right? I have like a plethora of resources, an abundance of resources. If I need something new, I can probably just make it. But I mean, honestly, after having played this so long, I don't think about what is meta and what's not. I look at the typing matchup and then I sort by CP, and then because I've probably powered up more than 6 or 7 of each type at this point, and I really haven't added any new Pokemon to like my rating roster since like Reshiram and Zekrom, to be super honest with you. It's very rare, and if those Pokemon get thrown in from like a recommended party on some other raid that I wasn't prepared for traditionally, then I'm surprised, and it usually means that I haven't used revives for a few raids. Yeah. So I guess the answer is no. I really don't pay attention to the meta, but it's because I can afford not to. That's how I feel.
Because, well, I mean, you do pay attention to the meta. You just did the investment earlier.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Like
yeah,
you care that Kyogre is the best water type attacker. You just powered up Kyogre's 2 or 3 years ago, and then took 1 to 50 or whatever that you have now.
Right,
if it's even at 50, and then you let the game take care of it.
But I think a better example though is that like for dark type attackers, I'm still using Bite Crunch Tyrannitars. There are better options out there, but I still use them because they're fine. They're totally
that garbage out of here, though.
They're totally fine, man.
No, see this. I'm going to disagree with your example. See, this is a great example because we had Hydreigon with Brutal Swing given for free.
Yeah,
and you have 3 hundos.
I got it. I got the Hydreigon just fine. I use that too. It's in there. But I have my army of Tyrannitars that are backfill for every situation, and I end up using like 4 of them. It's fine. It's all fine. But anyway, dear listener, if you have an answer to this week's PokéPoll question, which was once more, outside of PvP, do you pay attention to the meta or just go with the flow for raids, showcases, etc.? You can answer that question. We post it on X at our handle at GOCast Podcast. If you're a patron of ours via Patreon and therefore in our patron exclusive Discord, we have an entire channel dedicated to the PokéPoll. It is labeled as such. Feel free to post your answer there before or after I post the question, but I post the question while the episode goes live, so I'd like to see you try to beat me to it. Kyle, you could, I guess. But you can also answer the question a couple of other ways. If you're watching the video version on YouTube, hello YouTube, we're waving, what's going on? Hi. You can leave a comment on the video, please do, and while you're commenting, you might as well subscribe. You're already there. Yeah, that would be cool.
I see what we did there.
Yeah. And then if you're listening on the Spotify mobile app, you can interact with the episode. There's like a Q&A button and you can answer the question there. But I suppose if you want to go old school, you could, of course, call us by leaving us a voicemail at 262-586-7717. And continuing the old school train, send us an email to mail@gocastpodcast.com. And speaking of these popular, common ways of communication, Mr. Kyle, we're at some point in the show, aren't we?
It's time for emails.
That's right. More like just email. Because there's no voicemail. It's just one email.
Email.
This one is from Tucson Toros 97. I love that name. It is not only fun to look at, it is fun to say. So good on you. Hey, Chris and Kyle, Tucson Toros 97 here. The PokéPoll this week relates very closely to the way I play the game. Oh, this is a PokéPoll answer. I put in the wrong spot, but here we are anyway. My main and pretty much only goal is to get as many unique level 50 hundos as possible. So far, I am up to 110 out of the 182 hundos overall. Outside of these, I only keep the top IV versions of each mon. One regular, one shiny. I heard Chris say on this last pod that 2,500 item and Pokemon storage seemed very low. It is very low. I am currently a few excellent throws from level 50 and have squeezed by with 1,450 Pokemon storage and 900 item storage. You couldn't pay me to play with that low storage. Does anyone have this beat for the smallest storage? Loving the show as ever. Hundo vibes all. Tucson Toros 97. Okay, respect. But I'm also not saving just 3 of each Pokemon. I'm saving like 15 of each Pokemon.
Yeah, but they have the self-control that they don't need to. So
they have the discipline. I don't.
That's absolutely incredible. So it's level 50 with that small. Okay, so 1450 Pokemon storage. If you're like super diligent, you have a specific plan, doable, fine. Especially if you're like started on top of it with transferring shinies, like to home or to the professor. Like you couldn't do that when we start collecting shinies. So there's such a backlog. But 900 item storage is actually impossible. I can't even imagine. I have 900 rare candy right now. Like, no joke. I have like 965 rare candy.
993. I'm with you, buddy.
So like I can't, and that's not like a flex. Like, oh, I have so many rare candy. I just the discipline to just use your items, like between my TMs and my berries, I probably have more than 1,000, and I could probably throw out like 300 or 400 berries and not worry about it.
I mean, sure, but
like I said last week, I have 1,700 Pokeballs. Think about how much catching you have to do to get to level 50.
Yeah, so
I'd be curious.
That's my problem.
Tuscan Tauros, how many Pokemon you've caught in your journey to level 50? Because of course, there's going to be someone like me who's I've caught about 120,000 Pokemon right now, which is not that crazy for somebody who's level 48. And I'm probably going to get to level 50 before I hit 200,000. And there's people who have 600, 700,000 caught before they got to 50. So
yeah, I think for me is that sure, you could be on top of it, but when it comes to community events and stuff like that, I don't want to keep clearing out my storage every 100 catches. And if I have, just under 1,500 Pokemon storage. 700 of that is stuff that I'm saving. Like I have wiggle room there, but it's a big pain in the butt. But I guess,
well, the strategy is you go in prepared with a search string for Hundo and PvP IVs if you want them. And they only care about Hundos. So type in 4-star. If it's not there, everything goes, and they don't care.
It's largely what I do too. Yeah, that's fair enough.
So like they have a plan and you execute it. So like if that's your plan and that's all you care about, it's pretty easy to maintain your storage. It's when you start to branch out that it starts to be crazy. That said, the question someone beat for smallest inventory, I'd love to hear it. I'm sure somebody has, because somebody has probably gotten to level 50 with only friendships and not like caught any Pokemon, basically.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm sure that exists. But that person is actually insane, was doing it as a challenge. This is just how you play the game, so it's far more impressive.
I would agree. This is functional. Yeah. I have got, remember we did like a shiny check a while ago and I was like just under 3,000, right?
Yeah.
I'm at 3,070 now.
Okay.
So I've got twice their total storage in just shinies.
I can't even, it's so many shinies.
It's a problem. I'm not even trying to brag. It's a problem that I have now. I have to go through these and I can't.
I have 1348.
Nice. Yeah, but you're better about managing that than I am.
I am. Just give me your restriction and I will go through your inventory for you.
I might. Maybe I'll bring an iPad to our next thing and be like,
just like, I want 10 or less of each shiny. Check the IVs for better PvP or whatever, and I'll just go.
No, I've already tagged everything for PvP. I just need somebody to go through and do the transferring because it's such a pain in the butt.
I'll do it.
It's such
awful,
a pain in the
I'll do
butt.
it.
It is awful. Gosh. What we could do is we could have you do that and we could record us doing it and it could just be you lots of silence and then you just been like, why do you have 50 Weedles?
Why is there 87 Swinubs? And you're like, I had 2 community days. And I'm like, I know that.
And the Decembers. Don't forget the Decembers too.
Oh my goodness. I'm sure you probably have like 75 Magikarp as well.
Hold on, let's check. I don't think
or
so.
Swablu. Swablu's another one you raked it in because we were playing as a group.
Swablu is like 42 right now.
I actually still have 38 because I have all of them because my girlfriend would kill me if I transferred them. So at some point I need to trade them to her slowly, but that's never going to actually happen. So those are just going to stay there.
49 Magikarp, so not too bad.
Okay. Swine up.
Oh, I didn't look that one up. I just looked. Swine up might be a problem. I also don't know how to spell swine up because my fingers are too big. And it's shiny. 48. That's not too bad either.
So if you probably went from now to every community day for the past 4 years, you probably have 30 to 50 of every single one of those. Yeah, I'm sure that your 3,000 shinies, 2,000 of them are for community day.
Oh, yes, easily, if not more, man. It might be a little bit more than that. That's the problem
because they have no value.
Yeah, look,
I'm gonna lose my mind. We're gonna end the show now, please.
They have value to me. Stop.
No, they don't.
You're right. I'm lying to myself and everybody else. Anyway, Tucson Toros, thank you for writing in. If you, dear listener, would like to write in just as Tucson Toros did, you can by sending us an email to mail@gocastpodcast.com or sending us a voicemail by calling 262-586-7717 and leaving a voicemail there. You can also email an audio file. I will warn you up front though, if it's like 5 minutes, we probably will pass. We're looking for things like 3 minutes ish or under. It kind of depends. Just trying to keep it fair for airtime, fair time, if you will. Visit our website for all things GoCast Podcast at GoCastPodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter/X at the GoCast Podcast. If you'd like to help support the show for as little as $1 a month, you can via Patreon. That's spelled patreon.com/GoCast Podcast. And that gets you access to our Patreon exclusive Discord. You can, of course, give it other tiers as well. Speaking of other tiers, thank you and big shout out to our Elite Trainer tier patrons. Kyle, if you would not mind, I feel like I've asked you to speak so much this episode. This is great. But it is your turn for the list. So please take it away.
All right. Shout out to elite trainers Bo, Daniel, Lori, Michael, Ozzy, Arkham, Marvin and Mimi, Sports Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Motters, Lee, William, Brandon, Ethan, Steven, Nick, our favorite listener, Drew 2, Camo, The Ugly Rock, Jacob, Victoria, and Sarah Lore.
Almost. It wasn't the it wasn't the Jason Justin U-turn this time.
No.
But thank you all very, very much for your generous support and help us keep all the digital lights on and other things. Of course, thank you. And if you'd like to help support the show in another way, in a big, meaningful way, like literally metric-wise, it helps us out a lot. Please leave us a review on any platform that takes reviews. It helps a ton. So thank you in advance. And it's free, so please go do it. All right, Mr. Cowell, we got to set some goals. We've got the flock together bird research, flying type research this Saturday. But other than that, that's kind of it. So what are you looking for goals?
All right. I want a shiny Doduo or Spearow. I'm not really sure which one I'm going to pick for the timed research. If I get the timed research, I may end up doing something else on that Saturday. We're not sure yet right now. Those plans are up in the air.
Okay.
But I'd like to complete the flock together research. So hopefully that's hopeful. And 300,000 experience. Also, I just need to share because I was going through my eggs. I currently have this egg from, if it ever loads, from March 2nd.
Yes.
That's just been sitting there now. We're over 2 months old. Just
it's an egg from March. Oh my gosh.
It's an egg from March 2nd.
What type of egg is it? A 2K?
That's a 12K.
Oh, well, that makes sense. If it was a 2K, like just hatch that thing, man.
I have a 5K from the 18th.
Oh my gosh.
That was an Adventure Sync egg.
Those will expire soon. Are you keeping them refrigerated?
No, I'm waiting for them to rot. Maybe I can throw them out then.
Oops, I dropped it. Oh, sorry.
I've hatched so few eggs since Sinnoh Tour. Basically none. My free incubator barely going.
Oh, that's what it was. We were talking about eggs since the tour. You were like, I'm not going to hatch any more eggs until GoFest. That's what it was, not raid passes.
Yeah.
But I think that you kind of went hand in hand mentality wise for what you were going for. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, good luck. I am going to have similar goals with a couple of extras sprinkled in. 50 eggs hatched, shiny Doduo. I'm calling that one out. But I also 3 other shinies. I don't want to say specifics because then I'll get blessed with the opposite of what I asked for. But I'm going to choose, I think, Doduo for my research decision. And then hopefully get a couple of others or a few other shinies. I would love to get another Pidgey because I have 3 shiny Pidgeys, but 2 of them are Pidgeots. And so I need one for Pidgeotto still. So I'd like to get at least one of those, but we'll see.
Oh, good luck with that.
Thank you. 18.75 million Stardust on hand. So I have to get another 250,000 to hit that. I'm getting so close. I think by GoFest, I'll be at the 20 million. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
And then I want to finish, of course, the research day research just to have that on there as a goal because I'm going to do it anyway. And that's it. That brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening all the way through. Thank you, Mr. Kyle. And we'll see y'all next time for episode 282. Go listen to PvP Corner and Star Piece if you haven't listened to that stuff yet. Bye-bye.
Bye.